if there is strong pain in the body that doesn't go away, and it might be psychosomatic since the doctors never have any answers, how do I stay true to the nature and also relax so I don't contract? I'm sorry, I just was remembering there was somebody, I work with a lot of people actually with chronic pain or some sort of mysterious disease that nobody can work out, and they're not sure if it's psychosomatic. Like not a lot, but a certain amount. And I remembered hearing a healer or something about something the other day, and I just was trying to remember it, but it's nothing of relevance because I work and hear so much information. So it might be psychosomatic. It could also be something physically wrong, but then we don't know how to say this in a loving way. Like, we don't know how this system is built up. Like, so if you do have a strong illness or a pain, a constant pain, we don't know if that constant pain was created by the thoughts or the negative thoughts were created by the constant pain. It's unknown. But one thing that I notice is somebody that has a chronic illness often have a difficult mental attitude, or there is something where they're mentally stuck, whether they feel depressed about the illness or they feel suicidal about the illness, or they feel stuck or very vulnerable or incapable, and we don't know what comes first, and it's irrelevant. So what you can do is you can, if there is psychosomatic symptoms, or if there is negative thinking or difficult thinking, then we can look at that. Trying to stay present and push the negative thinking away, or the difficult thinking away, or the contraction away, I don't think works. I think that you're putting yourself in a torturous position trying to stay present when the mind is going crazy or in despair. And I think when that happens, so when strong suffering comes up, you need to deal with what the mind is actually saying, and you need to look and explore at what the mind is actually saying, which can be incredibly scary, especially if you've got physical illness as well. But what I realized from my waking up experiences and my journey is that when I had difficult mental thoughts, my body hurt like hell. If I'm telling myself constantly that I'm not enough, that aches my heart and my back and my shoulders, or if I'm in fear, like frozen fear that something bad's going to happen to me. And so if that's really extreme, and if there's an independent physical illness as well, this can really cripple the body. But maybe the physical illness is from the crippling thoughts. We don't know. Or crippling behaviors, or picking up other people's energy. We don't know. So my suggestion is to look at what the thoughts are that are there in an open and compassionate and investigative way, through knowing that who you are isn't those thoughts. So whatever they say isn't a reflection on you. It isn't a reflection on the way your life is going to be, on what's going to happen to you. It's thoughts arising from this mystery. And for some reason, there's been a collection of difficult thoughts in that body, and we just look at it, knowing it's not you. So knowing if there's dark thoughts or negative thoughts or difficult thoughts, that doesn't in any way equal you. It's like an energy that wants to come out of the body. And in order for it to come out, in order for it to change, there has to be an acceptance of what's actually there and a listening to what it's actually saying. And in it, you might actually find wisdom and growth and clarity about the illness. So when the contraction starts, you need to start asking yourself, so what am I actually thinking here? What are my thoughts around my illness? What is actually happening inside of my body? Where does it hurt? Like, so I was working with someone else the other day, and no, I can't talk about that. That's not fair. I'm just trying to elaborate on what could come up, like what types of thoughts could come up. So say you might have thoughts that come up and say, it's never going to be healed, I'm going to be stuck and hopeless. You might not even be aware you're saying that. It's just this feeling might come of that you're stuck, you're hopeless, you're never going to be healed. And if your mind is repeating that story, that's so uncomfortable in the body, that has a profound effect. But you might not even be conscious of that. You might be blaming others, blaming the world, or blaming the healthcare system, or blaming yourself because you're not present. And so if you can open up to exploring, actually admitting the feeling is the first step to relaxing. Admitting that you're afraid of being hopeless and stuck and like this for the rest of your life. That's just a thought. That doesn't have to be your destiny. This world is made of magic. No matter what anyone's told you about the illness, no matter what you believe, we don't know what's going to happen. That's what's so great about it. We're always on the edge of nowhere. Like, we don't know what's coming. We're on this edge of infinity. So what is it that said, I'm hopeless? I'm hopeless. So just start admitting it. Like sitting there, and you can even chant out the dark thoughts. This is incredibly relaxing. After years and years of telling yourself bullshit stories, I feel hopeless, I feel vulnerable, I feel like I'll never get better, and you've got nothing to be afraid of. Saying it out loud is not going to hurt you. It will be deeply relaxing. Sometimes so scared to admit these thoughts. And it'll be painful at first and humiliating and embarrassing, but just be honest with yourself. What am I thinking and feeling now? Screw the spiritual ideal of being positive, just admit it. Once you've admitted it, once you've truly admitted it to yourself and really felt it and really welcomed it in for a nice cup of tea and a sandwich, cucumber sandwich if possible, once you've done that, then you can begin to open up to something else. So first of all, really welcoming it in, really accepting it. And part of the way you're accepting it is knowing that that's not who you are. Knowing that doesn't define you. That doesn't define your future. That doesn't define your experience. These are simply labels coming up that you've identified with. So letting it pass, letting it pass. Here it is, this is what's here, this is what's here. Forgetting this idea of wanting to be enlightened or wanting to be better than what you are, just totally radically accepting what you are. I am hopeless, I am negative, I am stuck, or bad things always happen to me. Things are never going to be good for me. Yak, yak, yak. You know what the mind's like, just radically honest with yourself. And this is such a relief, to be honest. It's a relief for everyone else around you as well. Like I was nursing a relative last year who was very ill, and the denial was the hardest part. The denial of it was the hardest part. So yeah, admitting it. Then, what is it you want? Like, what is it that you want? So your feeling is afraid of being hopeless and being stuck, which is more than likely in the solar plexus. So that's here. Could be here as well, but it's not. It's mostly in there, feeling stuck or hopeless in the solar plexus. So you feel it in the body. And what is it that you actually want? What you want is to not feel stuck. What you want is to feel infinite. That's the opposite to feeling stuck. You want to feel wonder. You want to feel boundless. Like anything can happen. That's what we love, that excitement of anything can happen. Anything can happen. I'm trying to sing that song. So you want to feel, and you want to feel like anything can happen. You want to feel the opposite of stuck. But you've got to say it more positively, so anything can happen. I want to be healthy and well. I want to experience peace in my body. Like, try to say it positively, not like I don't want pain anymore. That's a negative thought. I want to feel peace and relaxation in my body. And just write these things down and note them and keep looking at them. And when you feel more open, allow those beautiful thoughts and feelings to vibrate through your body. And trust that when you vibrate, so when you have a positive feeling towards thoughts, that's how this universe works. So trust that when you have this positive vibration and these thoughts, that it will happen, and give it to life. The perfect thing will happen, so just give it to life. So you say, I want to feel peace in my body. I want to feel expanded and open and infinite. You just trust life will bring that. But rather than like, how will it happen? How can I make it happen? I need to do this. I need to do all this meditation. I need to clear my chakras. I need to always stay in the moment. Rather than all these kind of really contracting thoughts, just be open to it happening, that it's possible, that you just speak it out and you feel love and it can happen. Give it to God. Give it to the Creator, which is who you truly are. And this is really healing, this. And just focus on it more and more, through the day. Like you're in these tight, contracted feelings of feeling hopeless or helpless or stuck, and then pull out your piece of paper and read it. It's okay if you don't feel like that. If you feel dark, just allow the darkness in. But when you feel that there's an openness, like start reading it and believing that works. That's the nature of this life. Like attracts like. Karma. Thank you for your question, Marina. Thank you. And if anybody wants more direction on this, I'm happy to do this live on one of these live streams I do, or you can also book a one-to-one session with me, like to go into it in more detail. So when I do one-to-one sessions, I go through this very systematically with people. What is it they want? And most probably like, I just want to talk about freedom. I want it to give me the love feeling, and I will keep pushing them on their feelings, like on this level. And then when I feel like they're open, then I'll speak about non-duality. But we can also do it in these live talks as well. I'm happy to do it because it's great to see someone do it, to really go into their feelings. We don't have time tonight, but another live stream. I remember you said that in the past you were experiencing existential terror. How to deal with that? It's a very, very scary experience. Yes. Yes. How to deal with existential terror. It's the same to how to deal with everything. Welcome it in. Welcome it in. There it is. Existential terror. You can handle it. Who you are is that consciousness. You're not a feeling, you're not a thought, you're not an idea. Everything will pass. So while it wants to stay, welcome it in and know that's the destiny. That's exactly what's meant to be here. You're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing out of line. That's exactly what's meant to happen. Just totally welcome it in. And then feel, where is it in the body? Where's it happening? What types of thoughts are there? I'm afraid of being alive. Life is going to hurt me. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know who I am. Bad things are going to happen. Life is too big for me. This is too much. It's too scary. I feel alone. Just welcome it in, anything that comes. And then write down, what is it that I want? I want to feel connected. I want to be home. I want to be intimate. I want to feel safe. And again, the same process. Just keep reminding yourself that's what you want. And when you feel open, let those feelings in. But while those feelings are there, just let them be there. And in saying all of this, know that all of this is something that happens. Like I give all this advice, but it's not prescriptive, it's descriptive of what happens in the instrument. Like every thought, every feeling, every idea that you have comes from this infinite space of wonder. It doesn't come from a separate entity that's inside the body controlling or orchestrating life. It's a happening, it's a part of life. Like the sunshine, like the wind, like the rain, like the ocean, like the trees. It's a formation happening in consciousness, and it's wondrous. In this moment, we don't know how it happens. We don't know how your thoughts appear or my words appear. They're appearing and they're happening, and they're totally free. So I give all this advice on the human level, how to settle the human, but also know that it's not actual advice, it's not actual prescription, it's description. So it comes out of my mouth and there can be a reconditioning, but the reconditioning has nothing to do with a separate entity, with somebody that's choosing their life or not choosing their life. It's something that happens. Everything is appearing now from this infinite space of mystery. Your concept and your idea that's appearing from the past is a concept and an idea that's appearing now. Everything always appears in this now. The room, the walls, the seats, the sounds. You can never get out of the now. That's who you truly are, is the now, is this moment. And you can never escape it. You can never be like, hang on, now, boop, pause, I'm just going to go to the future or go back in time. You're always here. Even if you go back in time, it's still now, now, now. It's still this. It's still consciousness. It's still life. You're always in this.